All right, it's official. I finally had a dream just for myself. Being spiritually tapped in to our collective right now, as well as having the time to be connected to the collective, has been such a beautiful and tiring, pretty exhausting experience. Um, but I'm grateful for the time that I was able to navigate some of the harder energies that have been coming through our world in these past few months. Essentially, since January, February, and March, I went into full hermit mode. Don't call me, don't text me, I am not texting back. I mean, I shut out so many people, and to some of it was intentional and some of it was just like I don't have the capacity to navigate whatever you are going through because I am navigating the energies of the freaking world right now. And I know that we all are in our own ways, right? So I'm not saying that like it's me and I'm doing all the work. No, there's plenty of spiritual baddies on this planet doing the energetic work that it's taking to kind of help shift us into this new age where we are less reliant on the systems and we are more reliant on our communities, on our self-reliance, and dipping into this age of Aquarius. We are the ushers of people who first had to bring in the new energy, and then the people who have their own special, unique talents that are more in the physical world can take that and then do their part, and then it just kind of keeps on going depending on people's specialties. And at some point we're all doing it at the same time too, And so, January, February, and March 2026 have just been like heavy, baby. And I've been lucky enough to this is funny. I've been lucky enough to have been let go at my last job, and so with the support from my dad um, and unemployment, I've been able to navigate this time in a lot of quiet. Um, Especially because I wasn't interacting with a lot of people, I was choosing to isolate myself. Um, it gave me that time and that space to really process the heavy strings and goop of the world. There's a giant hawk flying right in front of the window as I'm saying all of this, which is really, really cool. And it just is a really nice confirmation because even though, I talk a lot more spiritually here on my YouTube, I'm very aware that there are people who are not in this world, but this video won't find those people. So it's fine. um, this hawk is just is it two? Oh, y'all with me. Y'all with me. So yeah, so being able to have that space has been really, really beautiful. And I remember my dad was kind of like, are you doing anything? And you should be yada, 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 yada. What did I get? If he was helping me during this time, I totally understand where that point of view is coming from. Um, my parents have a very like straight and narrow idea of what our jobs and our careers should look like. So for me, who is super creative and super, into spirituality and knowing that like everything's going to work out, we're not going to worry. It's going to work out. We have a plan. It's we got it, and and I had to tell him, like, I know it doesn't make sense to you right now, but I am actively breaking generational curses, not just for our bloodline, but like for our community's bloodlines, for people who think that they will never be more than what they were assigned to in life. Like I am helping to break that down. And so I always thought it was interesting because that was like never really directly responded to. I think we kind of like moved on to something else, but it was just really nice to kind of claim that and be like, no, like this is, I have been helping. I've been helping in a way better way than I was when I was working a 9 to 5. Not to say that you can't do both, but for me, at least, it was really, really helpful that I had that free time to help navigate that. And I was watching a couple of my favorite tarot readers. I feel like I should really just tag them in like my description of, of my whole channel because they are so integral to my life right now. And I believe I was either listening to Jadina or Natija Cave, or even Freya Ray. I would think it was Freya, actually, that I was able to really have this conversation with me about like, it's time to close the door on the amount of help that I have been offering to the energetic world and allow that to really pour back into myself. And also the Ryan's Eye was probably the Ryan's Eye. They be telling me like straight forward. If you're in that collective, you already know. Like there is no beating around the bush. We get told straight the fuck up what exactly is going on and what we need to cut out. And so I had this moment yesterday where I finally felt like, spring is here, and I felt as though my time for this current era of my life of being a channeler for these energies, moving through this energy, when y'all see me dance, my dancing is moving the energy of what we're experiencing in the world, which is why I call it, part of my flow. It's not just an internal thing. It's also something that is a synergy that is happening. And so I really was able to hear the collective be like, we got this from here. We got this from here. And it was so, so beautiful. It felt like there was this energy of, and these words coming through of like, it's spring. It's now 2026. It is a different era. It's the year of the fire horse. All of these astrological things that are also benefiting us. But again, like this really, really cool age that we're stepping in, I'm seeing the work that we're all doing. And it may feel like we're not doing enough, but we are all doing our own part right now. And I can see it. I can sense it. There are healers who are discussing like healing, you know, women's bodies and femme plus people's bodies and being able to nurture that and how that's making that difference in the world. We're talking about cycle syncing. We're talking about, how to break out of our 9 to 5s. We're talking about how to invest in ourselves. We're talking about all of these things that 10 years ago was like, what? What? And I feel like I've done my part to help carry out the old energies and really, really fighting those and putting those to rest. And so when I started this message of like, I finally had a dream for myself. Last night I had a dream that I was like logging onto my Allstate insurance. This is not an ad. I'm not sponsoring them at all. This is not an ad at all. But I had a dream that I was trying to get into this portal and I was like avoiding it in some way. And I woke up and I was like, a part of my shadow work is that I am neglecting a lot of my physical responsibilities as a bit of an excuse to not tackle the dreams that I really have. Because if I have all these lingering responsibilities, I can't go back and be like, what? Well, it's because, ooh, yeah, it's tight. It's like, well, it's because I'm not organized enough, or I don't have this enough, or I didn't figure this out, or I didn't figure this out, and so of course I can't be loved and famous and seen and blah 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 blah. Like it was the addiction. This is the proof that I can't do XYZ, right? And so as I'm kind of navigating the day, I'm realizing like, oh, I was supposed to learn that. And wow, that was the first dream I had just for myself in a long time. Like I haven't woken up from a dream and been like, wow, it was a simple dream. Or like, wow, I don't feel like I just battled like 87 energetic demons in my sleep. So it really did help. It really did make this impression on me that like I did do a lot. And not to say that like my services won't, be needed again as we are navigating this next chapter, but it just really felt like the collective, the community connectively said, we got this. We got this from here. And when I had heard that, my door was like wide open to my patio. And I like to keep it open, but I do remember I like to keep it on, please. I do remember one of the channelers that I watched was like, "You keep it was Ryan's eye. He's like, you keep this door open for all of these people who aren't always returning that favor and that love and that support, but you keep your door open." And I just heard all of that at once, and in the night sky, I just looked out and I heard those voices and I was like, okay, I'm going to close the door now. And I have nothing to say. I have no words, when we speak energetically, sometimes there are no words. And then a song came on. It was talking about like there's no right way to say goodbye. Was it Chris Brown? It was like never a right time, never. When I gotta be the persons because we don't gotta start hating me. Because I really don't feel the way you was felt about you. So yeah. So it was nice. I feel more rested. I feel really, really proud. I feel really, really proud of the work that we have all been doing because I see y'all. I see y'all on Instagrams. I see all my FYPs. I see you. I see you. I see us. And the amount of love that we have been pouring into ourselves, the amount of self-discovery, like the past year of my life has been this deep educational dive into my spirituality and to, learning all of the ways that we add so much to this world without pieces of paper to back it up. You see me, and I've got the pieces of papers. I got lots of pieces of papers. But there is something that cannot be described. It can't be put on a piece of paper to create the validation for impact that has been happening in the world. There's no way to measure it. Like you can measure destruction. You can measure weaponry. You can measure how damaged something can be. It's really hard to practically measure love and light and dark and being able to be okay with all of it. And that's why so many people in this past era have struggled with leaning into those potential possibilities because there was no way to measure it. It was so much about like, okay, if we do this, then how is it going to be measured here? And how are we going to do this? How are we going to measure this? And then the KPIs and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you can't measure impact sometimes. And this is coming from someone who studied sociology, who studied data analysis, who studied statistics. Like, I get it. Okay, we all want to figure out how things are measured, but this is a qualitative experience. Life is not a quantitative experience. You can't be like, oh, I gain this, and this from my time in the astral realm, because even those thoughts will start to like expand. You can say, oh, I learned 3 different things, but then those ideas in itself will start to expand and become new ideas. And like one idea will start, and you have like 6 more ideas that come from it, because that is how expansive we are. Ah! The best ways. And this makes me so excited. So I'm very I'm very lucky. I'm very aware that the universe was like, no, we're going to keep sending you these denied job offers. No, we're going to get this person out of your life. No, we're going to do. I've been lonely, y'all. Alone, but not fully lonely. Like I said, I got my internal world, and it's quite beautiful in here. But it's been lonely for me. And the amount of like job, redirections I've had has just been crazy. For someone with talent like me, they're missing out. So now looking back on it, I'm rewiring and rewriting that story of being like these jobs were not for me, because I needed this time to help us get through what we were going through. And so this sense of I feel like someone might need to hear this, but like if you're in a space where you've just been like, I've been a hermit and nothing's working out and this and this and that, there's a great possibility that you are doing things and you're moving things and you're moving energies that you just needed to move before you can get to your next levels. And I'm never going to discount you taking that time to being able to do that. And of course, have your plan, have your backup plan, have your community that you're able to lean on, and let them know that you need to lean on them right now, because you're just in a different time. You're in a harder time where the physical reality isn't matching your energetic reality. And it doesn't mean that your energetic reality and your physical reality will never add up. It just means that they're taking some time to sink. And when I really think about my manifestations, like it happens with time and with patience and with feeling like you have it, and feeling like I'm already grateful for it coming into my life, for these wins and these blessings coming into my life. Which at first sounded so cheesy when I first started all of this. And now I'm like, no, I get it now. Again, it takes time. Something that cannot be quantified doesn't always fit with our rush. So I just wanted to validate that for y'all. Because you're not failing. And the universe doesn't hate you. There's just some things energetically that you got to do beforehand. So, like I said, I'm really proud of myself, and I'm very, very excited to sleep. Because, man, I tell you, I was waking up and I was like, ooh. It wasn't even like I wasn't even getting good sleep quality. I would make sure my room was cool. I would make sure I had my little weighted, blanket situation. I have my earplugs. I have my eye mask. I have my bonnet. Like, there's literally, I have created the perfect conclusions for perfect sleep. But it didn't matter, because the universe and my astral realm was like, we need you up here for a bit. Okay? Okay? And then when you come back down here, probably need you to like rest a little bit more. But I have things to do on the physical. And they're like, we know. We're going to get to that. We just got to do this first. So, yeah, that's really cool. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful existence. And if things are taking time, know that you are doing energy work that is important for you, for the collective, and trust your path. Trust your path. and stop measuring it to the way that we used to measure it, because it's gone. The old way, it doesn't work anymore. Okay? So if you're measuring your success by the way we used to measure it, you'll never in this era feel adequate, because me and a whole bunch of other people, we've been it's slowly disappearing. Okay? So once we figure out how we can measure all of this, you do you. Okay? All right. Proud of you. I'm proud of you. You got this. Bye.